Hello, welcome to the weekend of a Punters Guide. The final few Cheltenham clues are starting to fall into place on the big weekend of action with the TV cards at Ascot, at Wincanton, and a Betfred sponsored meeting at Haydock to look forward to as well. Joel and Frankie alongside me. Joel, quickly, loads to look forward to. Good small field graded races, decent ones, and big field handicaps for the betting man.
I am about 20, 25 minutes away from Haydock, being a local track. And it's just starting to spit in now. So I've got loads of it spits in. Frankie won't get that. There's a load of mates going tomorrow, and they're like, I hope it doesn't rain. I'm like, I hope it does. Bristol de May's running tomorrow. It's small but select, and I think sometimes you look at these fields this time of year up to Cheltenham. It's difficult, but if you can pick one out, you can make a few quid and get it in your pot for Cheltenham before we all fly off to Vegas.
Yeah, unseasonably quick ground at Haydock, and similar down by at Ascot, I guess, Frankie.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a factor all round this weekend. I think it was last weekend as well, to be honest. I probably didn't give it enough attention and paid the price from a few horses struggling on better ground than we're used to this time of year. So, yeah, ground plays a factor in some selections. And given that I've gone through this last night and talking about it this morning, I probably hope that it doesn't rain and it just stays as it is. And a few horses that like good ground can go and win. But, yeah, get some money in the pot for Cheltenham. That's the plan.
Yes, it's spitting bits and pieces around. I don't think it's going to change too much at both venues. So let's get stuck in. We'll start at Haydock. Here's a Betfred sponsored card, as I say. The Victor Ladorum is the first up, the 130. I'm a fan of Affadilly's 2 from 2 for Paul Nicholls, but the Skeltons have got one in here. There's been a big word for Bo Zenith as well. Very disappointed at Sandown. He may appreciate better ground. We'll start with you, Joel, on the Victor Ladorum.
Yeah, Affadil's the foremost, obviously, but the one that they've mentioned so many times, and you occasionally get a message through, this Punters from France for the Skeltons. They really obviously love this horse. It's not run over here. It's making its British debut. And if you pull that run up, you can find it on YouTube. Smooth travel. It travels so smoothly with ease. It's strong. It's effortless, and won by 7 lengths last time. It's only ran twice in France. I think it was 19th of December. And if that comes over here, replicates that at Haydock, ground I don't think will be an issue either. It's ran on very soft, and it's ran on, I don't know what they call it over there. I think tacky is what the tack. But no, I'm willing to take a little chance on this first time out, and I'm working without prices at the minute. Punter there for the Skeltons to make a winning British debut. So I know they really like it.
Punterdale A for Joel. Frankie, do you agree?
I don't. I'm trying to find a bit more value here, a bit of an each way bet. I have a voice, one that's had more racing experience, a flat recruit, which I always think is quite handy if you side with a horse that used to run on the flat and it's quicker ground than maybe we'd expect for national hunt races. Sometimes plays in their favour. This horse has already won over hurdles, has got better with each run, and last time went clear, I think 17 or so lengths. So this will be a step up, and it does have to beat some more talked about horses in Affadil and Punta del Este, but it has proven it can get the job done, and at an each way price, I would rather side with that.
Yeah, then there's the Betfred Victor Ladorum. Well, the Betfred Rendlesham then at 205, 3 mile hurdle. I'll come to you in a minute, Joel. I'll start with Frankie because I know Green Book did Joel a good turn at Sandown. What about Frankie fancies first?
Green Book. We're getting nods. Yeah, Green Book. It was Hillcrest, wasn't it? That they went absolutely, right pace, and Hillcrest kept going and going and going, and Green Book blew up essentially, but went well for a long way and has performed around Haydock before. I think been more than good enough since. And there's plenty of horses in here that probably do more of their better work chasing. I know that horses can win races over fences and over hurdles. Ashtown Lad's proven that, but I'd rather stick with the out and out 3 mile hurdler in Green Book that has raced around here enough times and I think can get the job done this weekend.
There we are then. Green Book for Joel and Green Book for Frankie. Joel was agreeing with his actual Green Book.
It's got to be. We put this up as a nap selection a couple of weeks ago, and Julie obliged. It had a couple of not shockers, but it raced not brilliantly a couple of times before that for Venetia. But that stable were out of form, and there's no point smashing the horse about. Last time, I thought it won absolutely brilliantly. We were on that day, and there are some, what's the right way to say, plodders in this race. Sorry to all connections. But I think Green Book, as Frankie said, 3 miles, beat Call Me Lord by 3. I think it's a very strong bet. I'm very big on Venetia this weekend.
She's got a few good chances, hasn't she?
Yeah, Green Book, strong selection from me.
There we are then. And I guess you may be talking about the Betfred Grand National Trial. She's got 2 that she won in 2014, Venetia Williams, and 2018. I was looking through though, researching this. 2 of the last 10 run-ins it's only twice the last 10 run-ins as the word good in the going description. We usually have a test here, so it's very different, but it will still take some getting. Venetia, she's got Quick Wave, she's got Fontaine Collonge, another one that did you a good turn this season. Joel, which one are you with?
Well, this is the one that broke the hoodoo, wasn't it, where she couldn't buy a winner. Fontaine Collonge for me is the straight one on the list, 100% there. Bristol de May, it's a Haydock favourite. As a regular Haydock, it's arguably my favourite course in the country. And when I'm there, you want to see Bristol de May do the business. He's 12 now. He's a beautiful horse. So I'm looking out the window now, and it's spitting still of a Friday afternoon. But if we get the rain, you've got to have your couple of quid on there. But Fontaine Collonge for the double for Venetia Williams, very, very strong this weekend on Venetia.
Yeah, Fontaine Collonge, furthest that will ever travel though here for Venetia. Frankie, Bristol de May is a star, but what do you fancy here?
Oh, not a lot. This is a bit soft. I'm playing for places, really. The 2 Amigos. Does he have the class to win this race? I'm not sure, and he has gone up a touch in the weights, but he'll get the trip. It's not a problem for him to go around Haydock. He's won over 3 miles 6, 3 miles 4. He's run, raced over 4 miles. He's incredibly consistent, and I think he's one that around 12 to 1, you'd be hopeful he will be in the places. So it's like I said, I'd rather have a stab at that each way and cheer him into 3rd or 4th than something further at the top in what is a very, very competitive race. So yeah, the 2 Amigos playing for places at an each way price for me in this.
We've got another handicap chase at 350. The Betfred Play Fred's 5 million handicap chase related to their exclusive numbers game, Nifty 50. A dozen set to go to post. This looks wide open as well. This has got Evander top in the weights. He's come off a long layoff. Golden Whiskey, I know, is a horse that has been liked for a while now. He's quite a lightly raced 10-year-old. And Venetia's got Enzo Dari. Is this another one, Joel, for Venetia you like?
No, I'm avoiding Venetia for this one. I really like one in here. That's Super 6. Or Nigel Twiston Davis. Now, last time it ran, I don't know if you watched this back or remember it. It was from end of January, ridden by Sammy Twiston Davis that day. I think the equipment had gone on the horse. It was pulling its way to the lead. It was hanging right. And then it badly hung left for ages and ages and ages. And he still managed to get into 3rd, 2.5 lengths behind. Jordan Naylor, who's no mug, takes over today up at Haydock. And I thought, you look at that race, and I thought Sam did a brilliant job just to get it up to 3rd. It was headed, and he got it back up into 3rd. He would have won that day. I strongly believe that, and of course, we'll never know. And I think if we do the same thing and there's no equipment issues, I think it's a really strong bet. And I think that's why we're getting a little bit of a price on it. What price are we at time of recording? Around 15 to 2, something like that. And I think that's a really, really each way bet now as well. Super 6 for me in the 350.
Yeah, Super 6 for Joel. Frankie?
Taking a chance here. Quid pro quo. Could be anything. First time over fences, showed a nice little bit of early form, and then has been dead last of recent and a very mediocre 4th. Both of those in grade 2 though. And what it showed initially, and then being tried in some decent handicap hurdles, I think there's got to be some talent there. They just got to unlock it, and maybe fences might be the trick. The fact that they decided to go over fences early on says to me that maybe this is his bag, and a bit more of that talent could be unlocked off of what right now could be a low mark if he can live up to what he showed early on in his career. So, you're taking a bit of a punt here, but it could pay off.
for skeletons in the J. Manor Silks then, quid pro quo. Right, the 5 o'clock is the Betfred Steve Hope Walrus Hunters Chase. Best wishes, Steve. Stalwart of Betfred. He is retiring. He's going to be there on Saturday, hopefully presenting the trophy for this as well. Race named after him. It is Hunters Chase, and lots of the winners of this tend to have Cheltenham on their radar, Frankie.
Yes. Oh, these are great fun, aren't they? To try and find a winner in. Have we got prices yet for them or not? I'm looking at Carito de Brosses, second to Dandy Dan at Cheltenham. I backed Dandy Dan that day because I know the jockey, and they really fancied it. And they said it'd be really, really hard to beat that day, and clearly went on and won. But Crypto de Brosses was not half bad in second and was 6 lengths clear of third. You've got to look through the field here, and if you're looking next to, you've got a lot that have been pulled up last time. You've got a lot with patchy form in here. The two that have been consistent, or the few that have been consistent, Envious Editor, Famous Clermont, the highest rated, and with 4 wins on the trot, and then this horse, Crypto de Brosses, with 3 wins and a second to a well-fancied and well-trained horse at Cheltenham. So I think out of the 3, that gets my vote. I don't know much about the jock on board, but fingers crossed he can get the job done.
There you are then. That's Frankie's thoughts on the Walrus. Joel?
I'm just hoping that Steve has a brilliant retirement. Steve Hope, all the best. And good luck with this getting out of here. Look, I love watching Hunter Chases, but it's not my bag. The way that I look at this race is the way I used to look at amateur races on the flat, which would be, what is Simon Walker riding? What is Sabrina Brotherton riding? And on this, I think your go-to man has got to be Will Biddick, hasn't it? I looked at a bit of form this morning. Famous Clermont, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins, and a pulled up in between when it jumped like a dog that day. We haven't got any prices. Highest rated horse, and that'll do for me. So Steve Hope, have some hope, and happy retirement, mate. And let's go with Famous Clermont for Will Biddick.
Yeah, good sentiments to him indeed. Right, let's switch to Ascot then. We'll start with the Reynolds Town. Only 4 going to post here for this grade 2. We've got Bold Endeavour, 2 from 2 for Nicky Henderson, and this Canondo Cueto from the north for Sam England. Brought back early for a mid-season break because of the ground conditions, Joel.
Yeah, I'm all over this Canondo Cueto. Now, I was thinking earlier on, if I got a bonus from work or a bonus from Betfred, hint, and I'm buying a horse, at this time of year, would I want that horse with Nicky Henderson, Paul Nicholls, Willie Mullins, or would I want it with a smaller trainer? Because I ain't getting the attention of a Henderson, Nicholls, Mullins, I presume, at this point. And this horse, it's a value play as well, this Canondo Cueto. It started 107. I think it's gone up to about 137 now. Jumps lovely, travels so well. Was reading what Sam had to say about this horse. It's really lazy, only does enough, and it's done now wrong so far. Goes well fresh, targets. This is the target of this race. The other side of it will go, if you have a look in the last couple of weeks, Sam England hasn't had a winner, but it's had 2 thirds, 2 seconds. I think one was beating a short head or a nose. So tremendous season as well. Favourite, has got the form in there since he's gone to Nicky's. But I just think at the prices, odds on to 11-4, Kindo Cueto for me. It's one of those ones that, just keeps progressing, just doing enough. And I was really strong on this. Not only a price play, but progressing nicely and not just flying up the ratings.
I agree. I really like this one as well, especially Bold Endeavour. Jumped to the right last time out, but obviously that wouldn't be too much of a problem at Ascot. But yeah, I think Canondo Cueto is 5 from 5 from fence. We don't know how good he could be. And they're looking at the ultimate Cheltenham. Frankie?
Yeah, fascinating horse. I watched back, or at least watched the finish to all of those 6 successes. And they've done a great job with this horse. Like you said, he said he only does enough, but I think the jock's done a great job on board each time as well to keep this progressing and winning and going up the handicap steadily. And, maybe they get a little bit of luck as well, but being a smaller yard, it's not all eyes on this horse, or at least it hasn't been. It's just a real tricky one. Like, if I was at Ascot, I'd have a tenner on Canondo Cueto because the price is there. I do think it's Bold Endeavour's race to lose. And, he's finished both races really well. Looks like this trip won't be a problem. Probably is the classier horse. But like I said, if I was there at the prices, I'd chuck a tenner on Canondo Cueto because he could well go and do it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his. I think he could make it 7 wins on the spin. Right, let's talk about the 225. There's 3-man handicap chase. I'm going to start with you, Frankie. Is it Phoenix Way Day?
I don't know. I don't know. This is a big pot. You know, 5-1, shortened up a little bit as well. This could be his way, but I don't know. You stick a claimer on, is that because you really want to give it your best shot and, you know, take the weight off and have a go? I'd have a stab at 2 here. One would be Phoenix Way. I know they're pretty much both bets to nothing, but Phoenix Way, obviously we've talked about the last couple of weeks, and we think is probably going to Cheltenham. So it'll be eyes on Phoenix Way, but even if you played it each way and got your money back a few places, not the worst thing in the world. And then Revels Hill was second to your darling, the Ben Paulinghurst at Ascot. And then last time out at Sandown, they really fancied it, but race was kind of over when hampered, I think, halfway through the race. And, you know, essentially just kind of plodded around and ran into 4th, which was fair enough over a bit further. They really fancied their chances that day. And I think this horse got a bit more to give. So they'll definitely be trying with Revels Hill. But yeah, I'd probably play the both of them each way. They're a bet to nothing and more eyes on Phoenix Way for the festival.
There we are then. Yeah, Phoenix Way. Keep an eye in for the festival. Joel?
Phoenix Way as quiet time. Because wherever it goes at the festival, I think that's going to happen. And there's a race in next week that it could have gone for, which is a bigger pot. So I don't understand why it's come here. Right. Let me talk about this horse. How many people have told me this horse is no good for so long? Last time, the first time Paddy Brennan had ridden it, that was going to be the key. It's going to be held up. It's going to cruise into contention, which it pretty much did, and then came 6th. I hate doing this. I'm not falling off a cliff anymore. So the Wolves on the list. It's gone. I think Captain Ord. I think today may be the day. This time of year, Williams. You know, has been big on this for a little while. I think it ticks too many boxes for me. And the key for me is time of the year, and we're ready to go. I mean, there was a horrible race at Doncaster, wasn't it, when it came second, and there was all the fallers in it. Probably a little bit lucky that day. But Captain Ord, for me, I think I'll have a little go. And if the Wolf wins, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not backing the horse again.
Yeah, it does very well to get a handicap, doesn't he? Captain Order, Christian Williams, an incredible feat. Right, let's talk about the 3 o'clock. Another wide open handicap here. Let's start with you, Joel, because your old mate Tebow's in here, and he's been nibbled at a big price.
Yes, and he's also on my list. Adam West, I don't really know a lot about him. Ben French Davis, who's a conditional, he was the last chop to win on this horse last May at Plumpton. He won by 2.5 lengths. Now, I have no idea how they go about where they place this horse. You know, they say that some people are brilliant at placing them. I think it is just in a bag full of dice. that looks really bad doing that. But I think it's the badge. I think it's the bag just pulling them out. Because he followed that up with a run at Epsom on the flats. And it was the Amateur Riders Derby, where he came second at 25-1. The horse is always trying. They're not messing around with this horse and, you know, having a few quiet runs or whatever.
He's local to Epsom, Adam West.
Yeah. The horse is always trying. It is one of my favourites. And because of the stable, no disrespect to Adam West, you're always getting a price because it's not a sexy stable. Good ground is the key. He had a couple of runs on the all-weather last couple of times. I think he just got nicked for 3rd. And again, it was 25-1 or something. And I really would not put anybody off if you're after that fun bet. And also, if this is trained by anybody else, it's half the price for a start. And it might do nothing, but I think you're getting a little bit of excitement for your money.
Is this the race he was second at 80s?
Yeah. When I put him up and he was just, you know, when you follow these horses, we always text when he's running. And he's always a good price and he'll run your race for you. He's always trying his heart out. He just might not be good enough, but he's always trying his heart out.
There you are then. Hopefully a big price one in the 3 o'clock. Frankie?
I quite fancy one here, but it's on the drift, which you never like to see when you start looking on the Thursday and it gets to Saturday. It's just further and further out. But when looking through, I really like Too Friendly for the Scoutons. Bridget Andrew rise second 3 times. And, you know, that's why it's a bit of a price, because it does seem to struggle to win. It travels so well up to the last, so I won't be getting too excited until the race is actually, you're in the dying stages, because this horse has struggled to get his nose in front. But if it comes second at tens, you wouldn't be bothered anyway. I just think it's been unlucky and bumped into one or two. It was really unlucky, but on that 3 starts ago, that was at Weatherby behind Hon Public, who races in this. Bridget Andrews rode that day and had to switch, come back onto the near side, and it was all over the shop and still came second. Next time out was behind one of Fogel's that was fancied at Cheltenham. And then last time out, beaten by Nichols' horse, Son of Gina, and was unlucky again not to win that day. So 3 on the trot, has been unlucky. It's finished behind decent horses, hasn't been hyped up in the weights as a result of not winning. I think surely it's got to get its nose in front at some stage. But don't get too excited, because it will look like it's going to win by 5 lengths going to the last. And it does struggle to get its nose in front for whatever reason. But take a chance at tens, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would. Yeah, each way. Yeah, she rides Ascot quite well, wasn't she? Bridget Andrews. Right. The big race of the weekend is the Grade 1 Ascot Chase, of course. Shishkin up in trip for the first time, favourite for the Ryanair. Bit to prove for me, though. Fakir Dudery comes in to retain his title. Arguably lucky to win at Thursday last time out. And Victory for Paul Nicholls and Harry Cobden. They are the main 3. I'll start with you this time, Frankie.
Yeah, this is the race of the weekend for me anyway. I'm giving Pic Dory a chance. This will find him out. Is he a Grade 2 horse, or can he now compete at this level? I think he can. He definitely deserves his shot. I think this is just a really well campaigned, like classic Paul Nicholls. He's campaigned this horse so well to keep it winning races, picking up these Grade 2s, and has done the last couple easily enough. And now is the time to have a crack at one of these better races. Around 11 to 4, whatever you're getting, or a bit of a better price than Fakir and Shishkin, who I think Shishkin's a bit of a finding out mission. See, does he still love his racing? How's he going to find the trip? Fakir, you could argue maybe slightly on the decline, probably wasn't going to win that race last time out. So Pic Dory, the one that's on the up for me. And yeah, deserves his shot at a Grade 1, and goes well right-handed and round Ascot as well round here before. So that'll play into his strengths.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a big fan of his as well. He's won everything pretty easily this season as well. He's worth a shot in this. This is his race, isn't it? I'm not sure he'd do as well as Cheltenham. Right-handed, good ground as well. He's won here before. Shishkin had another wind up since that Tingle Creek, third tongue tie up in trip. He's got a few questions, but I know you're a fan, Joel.
Yeah, last 2 runs, you've got to think about it. And I think there's a couple of Irish fellas who commented on the video last week when I talked about Shishkin. What price would this be without those 2 bad runs, a wind off, the bone issues, everything? This is the best horse in the race by an absolute mile. And it is the racing cliche, but there is no better man to get this horse back on track than Nicky Henderson. I strongly believe that. It could be an Altior situation here. Shishkin comes back. It's a step up in trip, right? We've had the wind up. Apparently we've sorted out the jumping issue as well. Everything's been sorted. Look, there's so many question marks in there, but on bare talent, this horse would pick them up and carry them. Nico could go for an haircut. Between fences, it would be that good. You're taking it on risk, which is why you're getting the price, and that is why I'm keeping the faith. And I think as well, if you're looking for the cheeky forecast, there's so many questions to answer. I would take the other 2, Fakir Dudery and the Nicholls horse, Pic Dory, out of there. And I'd have Miller's Bank to finish second to Shishkin. I think that
you can't have that in second.
Why?
Bank. Why? I know it beat Pic Dory at Aintree, but since then, Pic Dory's kind of shown his talent, I think, against Miller's Bank. I couldn't see that finishing ahead of Pic Dory.
Well, okay, right. I just look at JJ Slevin and Harry Cobden, and they'll be thinking Shishkin is not for playing today. All right, this horse is gone. So we're going to play jockeys. They're both going to mangle it. Shishkin's going to sit out there to see what we've got. Nico's going to go, oh, we've got one here. We've got one here. And then Miller's Bank, Johnny Burke sitting behind. They're going, right, look at these 2 suckers. And they'll fight it out. Look, it's all in my head. It's all in my head. But no, I definitely go Shishkin. I take the risk. And if I'm taking the risk, I might as well play the big forecast and put Miller's Bank with Fakir Dudery and Pic Dory to flop. That's my opinion.
That head is a weird and wonderful place. That's for sure. Right, the final race we're going to look at, the 10th and final race, is the Kingwell Hurdle at Wincanton. Paul Nicholls, better known for his staying chasers, of course, but he's won this 4 times. Again, it's Nicholls and Henderson, isn't it? First Street and Nappers Hill. The great one, and I like to move it in there as well. Only the 4. Another contest, Joel.
It's a good little contest, but it also shows that we haven't got a lot in England, doesn't it? Or the UK. I like to move it. I know we've had a few touches with that horse. That last run was just, nobody can explain it. Many people say it was just a bad run, which is fine. And I'd probably keep the faith because it's not let us down until that. It's a horse. It's a race that I wouldn't really have a play in because I've not got a strong opinion. But if we're getting a 5-3 bet at the weekend or whatever, I'd have a go and I like to move it. I know other 2 have beat it. But, explain that last run to me. You can't. Horse might have had a headache. We all get it. Let's just have a go at the bigger price of the 3.
That could have been up in Trip, wasn't it? Frankie, what would you like to
back down?
Keep it boring. I think that form from Cheltenham stays the same, to be honest. I think First Street's the best horse in it. I know Napsel's won round here before, and Nicholls likes to pick up winners at Wincanton as well. But I think that Cheltenham race has kind of got them in rank order, and I can't see it changing. So, First Street for me.
I'm with Nappers Hill quite strong. So if you take one thing out of this show, lump on Global Citizen in the Kingwell this weekend. Because none of us will be right. Right, best bets of the race action on Saturday. Frankie, please.
The names escape me. Too Friendly, Bridget Andrews ride. The times escape me. Sorry, not the name. In the 3 o'clock handicap hurdle, I think you will definitely get a run for your money at an each way price. Can't see how the places and could go on better.
Too Friendly at 3 o'clock at Ascot. Joel?
Green Book, 205, Haydock. Nap last time, didn't let us down. Nap this time. And if you see Venetia Williams wearing glasses, double your bet.
Explain.
No, it's always a thing. It's like when Rooney wears gloves, he used to score goals. He used to score more goals in gloves. If you see Venetia Williams when it's raining at Haydock and she's got dark glasses on, double your bet.
I told you his head is a weird and wonderful place. Right, fingers crossed for a few winners this week. Don't forget to join us Monday night on the Betfred YouTube channel for our latest in the series of Road to Cheltenham. But fingers crossed we have some winners this weekend. And wherever you are back in, the best of luck.